Hi, today we are going to go over the query function in Google Sheet. What query function basically allows you to do is use the SQL or SQL statements within Google Sheets. And for those of you who are already aware of SQL, should be pretty simple for them. In case if you don't know SQL, just watch the video and you will learn a lot. At least the basics of how the basic functions on how to use it. Basically, what query function allows you to do is it can, or where you use it is if you want to pull up part of the information from the main data set, like uh, this data set is list of schools in the Oklahoma district, in the state of Oklahoma, and if you want to see uh, average number of staff, certified staff members, or total number of enrollments, uh, or you just pull part of the data set, you can use the query function. It's like you can do a lot with query functions, and I may not be able to go over everything that's possible, but I'll cover the basics. And I guess let's just start and see. So you write the query function, rendering query. The first parameter is selecting the data, which we have here. I'll select, shift right down. Next. The second parameter is the query itself, which has to be in quotation. And as you can see, the help bar here, you can select. So you start off with select, and you can use the average or a sum statement. I'll use sum of column K, which is total enrollments. This data set, and close quotation. Third and the last parameter is if your data set has headers. Now, since my data set has headers, I'll select one, letting Google know that my first row is headers. This one is optional, so if you don't write anything here or you leave it blank, the Google Sheet will determine, looking at the data, if it has headers or not and use its judgment. So as soon as I click enter, it would pull up the total sum of total enrollments, which is column K of the data set. So that's how you can aggregate it. You can also use the average function. It will give you average number of enrollments. We can pull specific columns, like select column A, B, C, E, and column J, column K. There you go. Now, for example, if you want to see specifically the list of schools in specific site codes like 105 or 705, what you can do is you can add a where statement, where column D is equals to 105, which would return all the names where the site code is 105. Likewise, if we have more than one, what we can do is we can use the OR statement. So where column D is 105, or D is equals to 505, or D is equals to 705. Now if you notice, we have 105, 705. So again, we can narrow it down or add more filter logics to the data set based on whatever the requirement is. Okay, let's see. So for example, within, let me go back to the data, see what else. Okay. So yeah, so for example, within these uh, district codes, for example, if you want to see list of those schools which have total enrollments of more than 100 or more than 200, so what we can write in that case is, we already have the where statement, we can add an and statement, column k is greater than or is equals to 100. Now since we're using and or together, we may have to put this one in the brackets. Yeah. So this would only pull or further narrow all the schools which has more than 100 enrollments. Likewise, if we also want to narrow it based on the count of certified staff being more than 20 or more than 50, so we can add another and statement, and that's column j is greater than equals to 50. Now since this is numbers, we don't have to use quotation, but for example if there was a text, we it had to be within single quotes. Okay, all of these schools which have more than 50 staff members. What else? Okay, so what if we want to arrange this data set in or sort them based on the total enrollments, which is column k in a data set? What I can do is can add order by statement, column k, and by default it would sort it by smallest to largest. If we want the higher value to be on the top, we can add a descending in the end, which would sort it based on this column and then descending order. The other thing we can do is we can also, if we want a list of top 10 schools based on their number of enrollments within this selected data set, we can limit it to 10, which would further narrow or give us a list of top 10 schools. There is another statement which is like statement, where we have we can select part of a cell, and for example, let me look at the data to be able to give you. For example, if you want to pull all of these based on the school site having school in their name, which is column E, what I'll do is I'll first add column E here. And I'll remove some of these statement, and limit, and I want to pull everything which has which is in the district name of union, which has, so where column B, like quotation union, since it's a text, so it would pull everything which is union. Now for example, if we want to pull everything which may be either in okay, today's understand in the district code starting with 01. That's column C. So like column C, starting with 01, and we can write a wildcard, which is use a wildcard, which is a percentage sign. Basically means anything starting with 01, and it could continue with whatever number or alphabets afterwards. So it pulled all of these names. I think I'll conclude the video here, and I'll try to cover more of the query functions in next video. Thank you for watching.